Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants Hangout. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I will be your host for today. We are having an awesome first week of March. We've had a whole bunch of great events to kick things off, and we've got a couple more fun ones to wrap up the week, including today, we're going to be hanging out with Greg Nance. Greg just completed the World Marathon Challenge, where he ran 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents, starting in Antarctica and finishing up in Miami, covering 183.4 running miles and over 23,000 air miles, and obviously tons of logistics and planning in between. So this isn't Greg's first adventure. Some of his favorites include running 250 kilometers across the Gobi Desert, solo climbing Mont Blanc, and swimming across the Nile River. But Greg's real passion is to inspire students to get outside and to get active. So Greg, it's so great to have you joining us today, and probably a little more relaxed and refreshed since the last time we chatted.
That's right. I am so excited to be here. Joe, thank you for the introduction. Hello, everybody. I am really excited to share some of my adventure with you in a quick presentation, and then I want to hear your questions, and I want to have a dialogue, have a discussion with you as we go. So Joe, thank you for the kickoff. I am definitely more relaxed this time around. For those of you that tuned in last time, I was really nervous before doing this, and I learned a big lesson there, where when we feel nervous, it actually is a good sign. It means that we're on the right track, challenging ourselves. And I'm going to share a little bit more today about how I took those butterflies, that anxiousness, those nerves, and actually helped channel my performance to do my very best in a really tough set of circumstances. Are we ready to roll over here, Joe? Can I dive in?
We are ready. Share that screen and let's go.
Awesome. Here we go. I am sharing my screen, and I prepared a little presentation here. So as Joe mentioned, I went to Antarctica. It's like the coldest place on the planet. And that was just the beginning. After running a marathon in Antarctica, we then had to fly up to Cape Town in Africa, then Perth, Australia, Dubai, Madrid, Santiago, and Miami. That's 7 different continents, and we had to run a marathon on each one, all within 7 days. 7 days, 7 marathons, 7 continents. And that's what I was doing at the very beginning of February. So just 1 month ago, I was doing this, and I want to share a little bit about how we made this happen and things that I learned from the experience. That's me on the left there. I am receiving my racing gear that has my numbers, that's got the jersey that I'm going to wear during the race, and I'm next to the race director, a really nice man from Ireland named Richard Donovan, and he's giving us a little pep talk, handing out all of our racing gear as we go. You'll notice I'm wearing my lucky Seattle Seahawks shirt right there. Whenever I'm nervous, like right now, I wear that, and it makes me feel more confident because that's my favorite football team. This is the airplane that we took all around the world. This airplane has 42 runners in it, one of which is me. And then it has a doctor. It's got about 10 different race crew members, photographers, a videographer, people to help with logistics for each of the places we go, along with Richard, the race director there. We all live on this airplane during the week because we're traveling so much. We have to go from point A to B to C to D to E to F, all 7 continents in this airplane here. I'm not alone. I get to go with some of my best new friends. The man in the middle there with the long hair and the black shirt, that's my buddy Luke Nolan. He's my training buddy in Shanghai, China, where I live. So he and I have done lots and lots of running to prepare for this event. The gentleman in the blue shirt, his name is Eric Tozer, and Eric is the first guy with type 1 diabetes to ever run the World Marathon Challenge. Incredibly inspiring guy. Inspired me all the way out there. And then the fellow on the far right in the yellow and white, that's Luke Hepworth. He's from Australia, and Luke is running for children's hospitals in Australia. And so all of us are there for our own reasons, but we've all been training, working hard, and it's wonderful to have friends doing big adventures together. And that's exactly what Eric and Luke were for me. Really good friends to support each other as we do this. That's me jumping on the airplane, and that's my seat where I stayed during all of this, with lots of water and snacks, and I had my little notebook so I could record ideas and reflections and impressions from all the adventuring that we were doing. So I lived on this seat. I had to sleep right there. That's where I would try to relax, and I would have my meals in between runs as we went. But we were there to run. Here is the starting line in Antarctica. If you look really, really closely, you'll see a guy that looks like Kermit the Frog with a big green jacket. They're kind of in the middle next to the man in yellow. That's me. That's me. That's Kermit the Frog right there. That's me. And I am running. And in fact, the man in first place is in the very light blue on the right side of your screen. That's the world record holder. Whoa. He's the fastest man ever to do 7 marathons, 7 days, 7 continents. His name is Mike Wardian. He's really, really fast. So I'm not that fast. I couldn't go run with him, but I tried to find the right pace to get into a rhythm and to keep going. That's one thing I learned. You've got to find your pace and then stick with it. Here's me. I'm running really, really strong right here. I'm actually feeling really good. At this moment, I was in like 7th place out of the 42. I'm feeling really good. I feel really strong. And I finally found my rhythm. If you look closely, I'm wearing long pants because it's cold. It's Antarctica. We're running on ice. I'm wearing wool socks because it's cold. We're running on ice. I'm wearing gloves. Those are my Lucky Seahawks gloves and my Lucky Seahawks hat because it's really, really cold. And I'm even wearing a protection for my neck. Again, it's really cold. And so I'm doing all that. You'll notice I'm wearing headphones because it's pretty windy, and I like to distract myself from the cold, from the chill, and to get into a rhythm. So I'm listening to some music. My favorite band is Led Zeppelin. So I was listening to some Led Zeppelin while running and trying to get in a groove. I'm wearing sunglasses. Everyone is wearing sunglasses because it's so bright. The sun bounces off the ice, and if you don't have sunglasses, you would go what's called snow blind. Wow, you don't want that. You got to wear sunglasses to protect your eyes, and you got to wear long sleeves and coverings on your legs to protect your skin because it is really, really cold. I didn't cover my face, but sometimes I wish I had because it's so freaking cold. My nose and my ears would go numb sometimes because it was so cold. Here's a picture of me running with my friend Arnaud. This is toward the end of the race. Arnaud and I are dueling, trying to finish faster than each other. Arnaud is a professional triathlete. He's a really, really good Ironman triathlete. So he's a great bicyclist, a great swimmer, and a great runner. If you look closely, look at our mouths. Arnaud, he's actually smiling. He is relaxed. He is feeling really good. Look closely at me. It looks like I'm shouting kind of, but I'm not. I'm actually gasping for air. I am like a fish gasping. And that's how I felt. I was super, super tired trying to hang tough with Arnaud. But honestly, Arnaud was actually a stronger runner. He ends up beating me in this race and in all 7 of these marathons because he's a stronger runner than me. And so I tried to keep up with him. I couldn't. He did a great job. But that's me. You can see the effort on my face. I'm really, really tired. But luckily, when you run your best, when you pursue any big goal, you make it to your finish line. That's me crossing the finish line in Antarctica. I finished 7th place. Wow, I finished 7th. That was even better than my goal. When I first had our first Google Hangout, I said if I finished in the top 10, I would be super excited. I finished 7th. I felt really happy and really proud and also really, really cold right now because it's freezing. And as soon as you stop running, you get really, really, really cold. At least when you're running, there's a lot of blood going on. So I finished 7th. I felt really, really good about it. But the race is only beginning. Remember, it's 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. So that's just day 1. That's Antarctica. We then had to fly up to Cape Town in South Africa. Here it is. Here's Cape Town, South Africa. You'll notice I'm not wearing long pants. I'm not wearing a warm hat. I'm not wearing gloves. Why not? Well, it's 100 degrees. It's like 30 plus degrees Celsius. So it's much, much, much warmer. It's summer. It's summer in Cape Town in the Southern Hemisphere. And I am sweating. This is at the very beginning of the race. I'm smiling, but I'm sweating. It's really, really warm. Why am I wearing long sleeves then for my shirt? Well, the sun is so strong there that I wanted to protect myself from getting a sunburn, especially early in the race. So lots of sunscreen on my legs and then a long sleeve to keep my arms safe from the sun. And the same reason why I'm wearing a neck covering, to protect myself from the sun and to catch the sweat to better cool me off as I go. So this run started really well. I'm feeling really strong. I'm feeling great. And Cape Town is super beautiful. If you look behind me, that's a big cliff up there. It's a big mound, and it's called the Lion's Head. Wow, cool name, because it kind of looks like a lion's head. And Cape Town is beautiful. There's a waterfront. There's all these big cliffs. There's Table Mountain, these nice apartments and condominiums, and museums right there too. So it's a really, really cool city. But unfortunately, I don't run as well in Cape Town. In fact, I really start struggling. If you look closely, my feet are barely leaving the ground as I'm running now. What's going on? Well, number one, I'm really, really tired. I ran a marathon yesterday in Antarctica, and I'm really tired now. It's so hot. Oh, man, I'm feeling it. I'm losing lots of water. I'm sweating. I'm trying to rehydrate. I'm hungry because I've been running a lot. But I've got a problem. My stomach really, really, really hurts. My stomach really hurts. I feel nauseous. I feel a little bit sick. And in fact, I've got a stomach bug, the stomach flu. And that's no fun at all anytime, even when you're laying in bed resting, especially not when you're running, when you're running out in the sun. So right now, I'm not feeling good at all. But I've got a lot of running still to go. Luckily, I've got some wonderful friends that are encouraging me. There's a doctor who's trying to help me cure my stomach challenges. There are bathrooms nearby that I can run to when I need it. And I'm really just trying to keep a positive attitude. Initially, I was getting mad at myself. Oh, Greg, you're going so slow. What's wrong with you? Go faster, go faster. But actually, that doesn't help sometimes. Instead, I try to get positive. Hey, Greg, you've trained for this. You've dealt with bigger issues before. Keep going. You got this. So I turned a negative idea into a positive. And that helped me reach my finish line. Africa, Cape Town, race number 2. Oh, man, it felt amazing in this moment. You can even see on my face, I'm smiling because I feel so relieved and liberated to be done with stage 2 of that World Marathon Challenge. But remember, the fun is just beginning. I finished 2, but I've got 7. I've got 5 more to go. The fun is just getting going. If you look closely, that's me laying down there. And if you look in my face on the airplane there as we're flying onto Australia, I don't look very happy. It's because I'm in a lot of pain right now. The doctor, this wonderful fellow, he is trying to make me feel better by massaging the cramped quadricep muscles. My quadriceps, my hamstrings, my calves, oh, my leg is super, super, super sore. I am feeling it. Oh, man, it is really sore. The doctor's trying to help me. He's rubbing this cream, this gel on me to try to make the legs feel better, but I'm in a lot of pain. I don't feel good at all. And in fact, if you look at my right knee near where his hand is, it's really dark right there. And actually that's a bruise. I get really big bruises on both knees during this event because my legs are taking a lot of damage from all the running I'm doing and all the cramping I'm experiencing. Because when you're sick, you can't keep as much nutrition down. You get dehydrated, you get famished, you don't have enough nutrition, and then you lack electrolytes. So your muscles start cramping up. They're less efficient, they're hurting, and the muscles actually cramp. No fun at all, but there's no stopping the World Marathon Challenge. I have to start running. Now I'm in Australia, and if you look at my friend Luke behind me, the fellow in the blue, he's actually trying to encourage me. He's also wearing not much. If you look, he's wearing shorts, and he's wearing a t-shirt. I'm running in the same weather, but I am extremely cold. Even though it's pretty hot in Australia in the summer, I'm not feeling good at all. If you look at my face, this is the very beginning of the race. I'm not feeling good. I'm in pain. I'm trying to keep moving forward, but I have a fever. My stomach hurts, and I just feel cold and stiff. No fun at all, but you've got to find a way to keep moving forward. And I try to find a rhythm, and I try to just keep moving forward. That was my motto. And amazingly, that gets you to the finish line. If you keep moving forward, you will reach the finish lines in the races of your life. No matter if it's an academic goal, a physical goal, a family goal, whatever it is, if you keep moving forward, you're going to make it to the finish. And here's me. I look very, very happy because I am very, very happy. And one of my favorite parts is I got to celebrate with this guy. This is my friend from Seattle, where I'm from. His name is Matt Waters. And he lives in Australia. He came to the race to support me. He knew I was feeling sick, so he brought me some of my favorite food, Doritos and pretzels. And actually, he put it in little plastic bags. He ran with me and fed me Doritos and pretzels while I was running to make me feel better, because those were 2 of the only foods that I could eat without making my stomach feel bad. So I wanted to celebrate that. I took a fun little selfie with my buddy Matt, and actually the photographer took a picture of me taking a selfie. So a fun memory with this amazing friend of mine who came out to celebrate me. You'll notice it's dark while we're running here. It's about 5 in the morning right now. Whoa. And Matt came all the way out. He ends up skipping work the next day to be with me. So if you have great friends, you're gonna benefit so much from the support, the encouragement that great friends provide. So that's one of my pieces of advice. Do these big challenges with your friends as you go, because it's more fun and you're gonna do better too with great support. From Australia, we've got to keep going. We head to Dubai, which is in the Middle East in Asia. And this race was really, really tough, but I tried again to find a rhythm and keep moving forward. Here's me again with a smile on my face, reaching that 4th finish line, officially over halfway through the World Marathon Challenge. And by now I'm in pain. I'm really, really struggling, but I'm finding that I can do it. I can do it. If I keep a positive mentality, I'm going to do it. And I keep moving forward as I go. We then fly to Madrid in Spain for Europe. And actually, if you look closely, that doesn't look like a normal street. It's a race track. This is a Formula One racing track in Madrid, Spain. And they have to do that because it's hard in Spain to actually find public roads where we can run. And so instead, we end up running on a racetrack. And the racetrack is really hard to run on because it's pretty steep. There's a lot of big hills for the race cars. And anytime there's a turn in the racetrack, the cars are going so fast, they have to create a little slope, a banked turn, as they call it. And that's really, really hard on your legs when your quadriceps are on fire. My quadriceps were on fire. And it's winter in Spain. Spain's in the Northern Hemisphere. It's really, really cold. So right here, I'm wearing my Kermit the Frog jacket again. I'm wearing my long pants again. I'm wearing my Seahawks beanie, my warm hat again. And I'm actually really mad at myself. I forgot my gloves. So my hands are pretty chilled. I'm thinking, oh, what a bozo, what a fool. I should have worn my gloves. I'm freezing. My hands would be so much better if they were warmer. But sometimes when you make a silly little error like that, you've got to deal with it. So for 26 miles, I'm running and running and running, all 42 kilometers. My hands are nice and cold as I go. So you got to think about the small details to make big dreams possible. So remember, the small details make the big dreams possible. Here's me gutting it out through Madrid. I make it to that 5th finish line, and then we are on to Santiago, Chile. I'm back in short sleeves. I'm back in shorts, which means I'm in the Southern Hemisphere in South America. And if you look closely, I'm sweating again. I've got cold sweats. I'm not feeling very good. The fever's really hitting me. I feel really dehydrated. My stomach feels terrible. This dang flu will not leave me alone. I'm not feeling good, but I'm getting closer and closer and closer to my goal. And I try to keep, again, an upbeat attitude. I find that so important. Stay positive however you can. I was listening to a lot of music, but then I turned on an audiobook about one of my role models, a guy named Ulysses S. Grant, who, for those of us who studied American history, this guy was an incredible general during the Civil War, super smart, super tough guy. And I really admire that tenacity about him before he becomes president of the United States. And I was listening to a book about his life, and it was really inspiring for me. And so I did that because I wanted to stop thinking about my running and try to focus on something else, because I was in so much pain, and I wanted to learn from someone who's tough and tenacious, who kept going despite all these obstacles and setbacks. And so I listened to a book about Ulysses S. Grant while running in Santiago, and it helped me get to the finish line. Here I am crossing the 6th finish line, and I am overjoyed. If you look at my face there, I am so freaking tired, so freaking happy, so freaking relieved. And what's amazing here is that 2 of my friends actually held the finishing rope for me. That's my friend Luke on the left, my friend Sarah on the right. And I just grab it because I'm so tired. I don't even know what to do. I grab the finishing tape, and I'm so excited because after Santiago, I'm so close. And I celebrate there with my buddy Luke. If you look closely, that's my finisher's medal from Santiago, from South America. We're goofing off because we're so excited to just be one marathon away from finishing the World Marathon Challenge. And we head on to Miami. Here is our group photo in Miami before the 7th and final marathon in the World Marathon Challenge. You have to look really, really close. This is like playing Where's Waldo, but I'm in there. If you look at the very middle of the photo, there's a lady in pink. That's Sasi, my friend Sasi from Thailand. Well, straight behind her is a guy in a blue shirt and a hat smiling. That's me. Hard to see me, but that's me underneath the H in marathon. This is an amazing group of people. Every single one of these people became a friend of mine during the 7 days. We all struggled a lot. We all had to really overcome a lot of obstacles, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering to make this possible. And a really, really incredible group. I became friends with literally every single person, and I loved learning about their life story and their path to the start line, and then the challenges they were facing to make this dream a reality too. So really, really incredible group of people that I got to share this wonderful experience with. And not only did I get to share that with 41 other awesome people, but I got to share the experience with my dad. That gentleman next to me, that's my dad. My dad, Mike. He is 65 years young, and he himself is an ultra marathon runner, an incredible, incredible dude who is my role model, my first ever running coach, and someone who's taught me so much about life. And this moment right here, if you look at my face, I don't really look very happy. And the reason why is I'm in a lot of pain. My quadricep muscles are on fire. My stomach's not feeling good. And I'm really just trying to keep moving forward. And so Dad is giving me a pep talk. Dad telling me I can do it, keep moving forward. And right around here, I start to really believe that. As I'm getting closer and closer to the finish line, I'm really fighting through some pain, but I also know that it's worth it. Every step is worth it. And though I'm in pain, I'm going to make it happen. And again, one step in front of the next, you're going to make it happen. Here is me approaching the final finish line in Miami, and I feel overjoyed. There's a man next to me taking a little cell phone video. That's my mentor, Rosie, Lee Rosenberg. Wonderful man who flew down from Chicago to be with us in Miami and to take a little bit of video and to kind of tease me there as he ran with me as I was going so slow to the final finish line. And it's an overwhelmingly sweet feeling. I am soaked with champagne at the finish by a couple of my friends from Wentworth, my team. Incredible, incredible group of people who wanted to make me feel extra special. So they gave me a champagne shower. Here's me reacting to that. I've never had that happen to me ever. So I'm loving this moment. It's wonderful. And then my mom and dad come out and give me the biggest hug. And that is the highlight of all of it. Being able to run with my dad, cross the finish line there with really special people, and then get a massive hug from mom and dad. It's hard to put into words how much fun that was, how special that felt. And then commemorating all 7 marathons right there in Miami with so many good friends. It was really, really overwhelmingly special. And the first thing that I want to do after finishing this is eat. And so I go to Five Guys. I have a giant milkshake, a big burger, fries, and I get to hang out with my mom and dad. We go to the Everglades. My first time there. I like exploring nature. And so had a wonderful time there with mom and dad in Florida while trying to recover before coming back to Seattle, my hometown, and spending time with my nieces, Hannah and Honora, and then basking in the glow of the accomplishment and how much hard work went into making all this happen. So I'm blown away by all of the fun experiences that I had with these wonderful friends, by all of the challenges that we faced going from Antarctica to Cape Town to Perth to Dubai to Madrid to Santiago all the way to Miami, and then be able to celebrate with my 2 baby nieces that mean the absolute world to me. So the World Marathon Challenge, incredible experience. And it's one that I don't think these 30 photographs can fully do justice for, but my hope is that something there resonates with you. And I would love to go to our main event, which is to answer any questions on your mind about the World Marathon Challenge and all the rest. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. We see you again. And thank you for sharing that with us. It was, I was following along on social media the whole way, and it was pretty grueling, but it was pretty inspiring to see you push through and make that happen.
Hey.
All right. Well, let's meet some of our classrooms. Let's see. Let's get started. Let's go to Mrs. Kaminski's class. They're hanging out with us, some grade 3s in Manotick, Ontario. So here in Canada, let's get their microphone on and see how they're doing today. How are we doing, grade 3s?
Good.
All right. Who's got a question for Greg?
Okay, we're going to start off with Everett's question here. Let's see if Greg knows. Can you read it?
Greg, how many steps do you think you take in a marathon?
Ooh, how many steps do I take in a marathon? I think it depends a little bit on how quick I'm going. So actually, it's strange, but the slower you're going, the smaller your steps will be. So the more steps you'll take. So my guess in Antarctica, maybe I took 50,000 steps, a little bit less than 1 step per meter. And I bet you in Madrid, where I went the slowest of all, maybe 90,000 or even 100,000 steps, because they were so small. I was going so slow by then. So great question. It depends a little bit on how fast you're going. I would guess about 50,000 at my fastest, maybe down to 90 or 100,000 at my slowest. Thank you, Everett.
All right, we'll come back to your class shortly for another one, but let's meet another class. Let's go. Mrs. Repking's group are hanging out with us in Effingham, Illinois, some grade 4s. Let's get their microphone turned on. How are we doing, grade 4s?
Good. Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
Awesome. We have Hannah who's going to ask a question to you. Got your question, Hannah? Apologize. We're getting it pulled up.
No sweat. Let's do it.
Do you remember what you were thinking when you signed up for the marathon that you ran? Were you were you excited or sad or something for some reason? I don't know.
Yeah, no, hey, I was extremely excited. So I'm the kind of person when I see like something really big and crazy, I say, wow, that sounds awesome. And so I was really, really excited and just really pumped up. I didn't realize how hard it would be. So I should have been thinking, wow, this would be really hard. But instead I was like, wow, this is going to be super cool. So that's usually my attitude with big challenges. The bigger the challenge, the more excited I am. Thank you for your question.
All right, good question. Let's see. Let's go to Seaforth, Ontario this time. We've got some 4th, 5th, and 6th graders hanging out with Mrs. Lenny. Let's get their microphone and see how they're doing. How are we doing, Seaforth?
What was the what was the best place that he came in out of all of the races?
The best place was Antarctica, where I finished 7th. It was downhill from there. I ended up averaging 15th. That's where I finished. So 7th was my best, and then I fell down to 15th.
Still pretty impressive out of a field of 42 in every race.
So.
All right. Mrs. Camplin's group is hanging out in Guelph, Ontario, so pretty darn close to me. Some grade 4s. Let's get their microphone turned on and see how they're doing. How are we doing, grade 4s?
Good. All right. Well, I'll ask Matea to share one of her questions. Matea, do you want to come up?
Hi, Matea.
Hi. When you were a kid, did you think you'd be as far as you are now?
When I was a kid, I always hoped I would still be running, and I hoped I would be having fun. So I think on that level, I've definitely done a good job as an adult so far. But my aim is always to have a smile. And so that I think is a good goal. If you're smiling, then you're on the right track. Thank you for your question.
All right. Mr. Richards' class in Amherst View, hanging out with us. Grade 5, 6s. Let's get their microphone turned on, see what they're up to. How we doing, Amherst View?
Yeah. Hi. All right, go ahead, Gabe.
What was your hardest or easiest run?
My easiest run, surprisingly, was Antarctica because I was feeling so fresh. My legs were really just feeling good. So though it was really cold, I felt like that was relatively easy in comparison to everything else that followed. Madrid, my legs were so sore. I was so tired. It was so cold. And then you have these silly hills because it's a racetrack. It was really, really hard for me. So that one was the hardest. It also, the finish line still felt so far away. So I would say Madrid was the single hardest. And then Antarctica, kind of surprisingly.
23:30.
23:30. Thank you, Mr. Robot. Whereas Antarctica was the easiest for me.
All right. Where have we not been yet? Mr. Kennedy's class is in Sparta, Ontario, grade 4, 5s. If you want to turn your mic on and say hi for us, and then go ahead with a question.
Can you hear us okay?
We gotcha.
All right, this question is from Jacob. Stand up to the microphone. Closer to it. Take it with you.
Have you ever had to quit a race? And if so, how did you feel and what motivated you to continue training for the next race?
Jacob, great question. I have. So I've done 11 ultramarathons. I finished 11 and I had to quit one of them. I was in Hong Kong and I got food poisoning during a run. And I felt so terrible at mile 86 out of 100 miles. The doctor said, hey, look, you can't continue. There are cliffs there. It's 3 a.m. It's too dangerous. You can't go on. And I was honestly very happy that he pulled me because I was so tired and I felt so terrible. And here's the thing. When you finish a race and you have a trophy, you're still in pain. You're still tired. But it's like, I have a trophy. If you don't finish, there is no trophy. And so it sucks. It's like, oh, man, I ran 86 miles and I didn't even get a trophy. This sucks. And like now my stomach hurts. I feel so tired. I remember waking up the next day and hoping it was a dream, to be honest. But I looked around. There was no trophy. And I knew, oh, no. So to your question, I wanted to remember the feeling, Jacob, of I fell short of this goal. It feels so crummy. I feel bad about this. I never want to feel that again. I need to train harder. I need to train smarter. And I immediately signed up for the next race. So this was January 1st, 2017 when that happened. And I signed up for a race in the another 100-mile race, this one in the Philippines in May, like mid-May 2017. So I gave myself a short window because I wanted to just get right back to it. And so I did. I started training again, and I used that negative feeling of not finishing and feeling like a quitter to motivate myself. And I wanted it so bad. And when I was in the Philippines, it was really hard, but I knew, oh, I can't let that happen again. And so that it was a huge motivator. And even now, when I'm in Madrid feeling sorry for myself, it's like, dude, I never, ever want to feel that again. So my advice, my thought is, look, failure is a great teacher. All of us are going to fail. And yes, it sucks. Yes, it hurts. But use it as a motivator. Use it to get stronger and use it as a feeling to guide your – it's like a compass. Like, I hate that feeling. I never want to feel that again. And that's a compass now. Go away from that feeling. Figure out how to make this work because that feeling sucks. I never want to feel that again. So that's my story, Jacob. And find failure, move past it, learn from it, improve from it, keep going.
All right. Awesome advice. Mrs. Elliott's group, 7th graders hanging out in Dallas, Texas. I'm going to turn your microphone on and then go ahead with 2 questions because you guys have had to wait patiently for your turn. So here we go. Microphone is on. Wait patiently for your turn. So here we go. Microphone is on.
Yeah. When you were on the planes to several different continents, did you have to run your marathon straight away? And how did you deal with the time zones? And then, Cooper, do you want to ask the second one? Yes. How many calories did you want? Okay, go ahead.
Oh, and what did you have to eat to maintain your energy while you ran?
Or before?
Yeah, great questions, guys. So as far on the first question, so yes, you have to do everything in a really compressed time scale. So we land the plane. I have to get off the plane in my running gear. I then have to show my passport to a border control who signs off, stamping me saying, yes, you can enter the country. We get on a bus. We go to the start line. We have 15 minutes before they fire the gun to say you started the race. So, wow, there's not much time. After you finish the race, you basically can hang out until the final member finishes the run. Then you get back on the plane and fly again. And so it's really pretty crazy. It's very hectic. There's a lot going on. And you've got to stay very, very organized. So I basically kept a little bag with me the entire time. And that was always my racing gear, like my sunscreen, my lotion for my quadriceps, my socks that I would run with, my jersey, my hat, like those kind of things. How do I deal with the time zones? I lost track of time. I basically tried to sleep when I was on the plane not eating. I would try to sleep was my rule. And then you land and it's nighttime in Perth, Australia. It's nighttime in Dubai. It's nighttime in Madrid. It's nighttime in Santiago. It's nighttime in Miami. So like your brain just doesn't even know what to do with all this. So I didn't even check my clock. I never checked the clock. I always said, look, it's now time was like my attitude. So that's how I approached it. Tough on the body, like when you can't figure out what time of day it is. What did I eat? To your question over here. I had a plan going into this, but the challenge was my stomach felt so terrible, I couldn't do my plan. My plan was, oh, I'm gonna eat all this protein and I'm going to fill up on all this like delicious creamy pasta that will make me feel, energetic. My stomach had other ideas. Most food made me feel sick. Coffee, water, orange juice, Gatorade, Powerade, all made me feel sick. That sucks. Like those are the things I like to drink. So the one thing that actually felt good drinking was Coca-Cola. I don't know why. It's got like some carbonation, got some sugar maybe. So I would drink that and that actually helped me stay hydrated. Even water would just make me feel weird. I don't know what it was, but the stomach bug had a mind of its own. And then for food, I found pasta with not much sauce, like kind of flavorless pasta. And then bread, maybe with a tiny bit of butter, but basically plain bread. 2 things I could eat. And then I had Cliff Bars. Cliff Bar is one of my partners that helps fuel my adventure. And I ate a bunch of Cliff Bars. So it was really tough. I wish I could have eaten all the delicious things my friends were eating, but my stomach said no thanks. That's what I was eating. That's how I approached sort of the jet lag and my time on the plane. So it was really hectic, but I still try to make the most of it as we went. Thank you for your question.
All right, Mrs. Kaminski's class, we're coming back your way, and your microphone is on.
Great, thanks. We just also want to offer our congratulations, Greg. That's a huge undertaking, so congratulations on that feat. We do a running club at our school in the spring, and so we know what it's like to get outside and to feel when you sort of hit that wall and you're tired, but we're motivated to keep moving. Our next question for you, Gabe's going to ask.
When did you start running marathons and why?
Yeah, I did my first marathon when I was in university. I was a sophomore in university. I was 21 years old. And basically, I wanted a big challenge. I loved running. I had run the 400 meter and 800 meter as a track runner. And I basically wanted a bigger challenge. And so I thought the marathon was the perfect next step for me. And then I'm extra crazy. So I figured, hey, why stop at 42 kilometers, 26 miles, when I could run further? And so I started doing ultra marathons. And that basically means a marathon or a distance longer than the standard marathon. And I love those because usually they're on trails, they're in the mountains, they're through deserts and other really beautiful places. So I started with the 400 meter, went up to the marathon when I was 21, and then did my first ultra when I was 23. And I love it. It's like, I hope to keep running. And one of my goals is actually teach my children someday and even my grandchildren my love of running. So I hope to do it for a long time if I'm lucky to. So set your goals as well and keep working toward your goals and don't give up. Keep going forward as you go, and you'll surprise yourself with how much fun you can have when you're pursuing and reaching your goals.
All right, great question. Mrs. Repking's class, your microphone is on again.
My name is Adeline, and my question is, how did you get ready for the race?
Evelyn, thanks for your question. I got ready for the race with lots of training, early morning runs, and lots of visualization. Thinking about how am I going to achieve this really big goal. So I think having a positive mental image of how you're going to make the big goal happen, and then doing a lot of practice. So for me, as a runner, that's a lot of running. I do a lot of push-ups, I do a lot of sit-ups, and I try to make myself strong, both mentally and physically. And Evelyn, that's how I train to make it happen. Thank you.
Okay, let's swing back to Mrs. Lenny's group. Your microphone is on.
How much weight did you lose?
How much weight did I lose? I weighed myself a couple days after, and I think about 15 pounds. So I'm bad at converting that into kilograms. But yeah, about 15 pounds, which is more than I should have lost. It was a lot of water weight, just dehydration, and not enough food replacing the calories I lost. So terrible crash diet, and I don't recommend that.
All right, back to Mr. Richards' class. Your microphone is, oops, there we go. On.
There you go, Mickey.
My question is, what place did you come in races 2 through 6?
Races 2 through 6. I bounced around a little bit. Generally, I don't think I finished worse than 20th. And I didn't finish better than I think 12th or 13th maybe. So I basically found a little band there, and I kept kind of bouncing between that. So I was always somewhere in the teens really during that. And so my my final placement, I believe, was 15th overall. But when I'm bragging to my friends, I tell them about the 7th place finish in Antarctica.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not a lot of people who can have a claim like that. Not only that they ran it, but finished in the top 10. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Go to Mrs. Camplin's class. Your microphone is on.
Hi.
Hey there.
She's coming, sorry.
Why did you want to start running?
Why did I want to start running? I love running. When I run, I feel happy. I started running with my dad when I was maybe 5 or 6 years old, and I wasn't very fast. I couldn't run very far, but I just really liked it. And so when I played basketball or football or tennis or baseball, my coaches would always say, wow, you must like running. Everyone else might be frowning, but you're smiling. And so when you think about the things that make you smile, keep going. Because if you spend time on that hobby, if you follow your smile, that can turn into dreams come true. And that's what happens with me with running. It's initially just something I like to do, and now it's a big part of my happiness and the things that I love to share with my family and my friends.
All right, and one more trip to Mr. Kennedy's class. If you want to unmute for me, we'll steal a question.
All right, we've got Brooke this time.
How do you motivate yourself as a runner and as an entrepreneur? And do you mentors that you look up to or that inspire you?
Yeah, awesome question. Do I have mentors that I look up to and inspire me? Yes, I do. I have some incredible people that I really, really admire that help me become a better runner and a better version of myself. So thank you for that question, Brooke. One person in particular I like to say is he's a fellow named Ray Zahab, and he's a Canadian runner, adventure runner, an incredible fellow. He's actually in far eastern Russia right now on Kamchatka, which is a huge peninsula off the coast of Russia next to Alaska. And he just ran across Kamchatka. That's incredible, and it's the middle of winter in Russia, so that's just amazing. Before that, he actually was the first person to ever run across the entire Sahara Desert, across the entirety of Africa. Whoa, crazy. So he is a runner on the next level, and he's someone that actually is just really inspiring. He works on a nonprofit to help students dream bigger and go for it. An incredible runner. So Brooke, that's someone that I really look up to. And when I'm running, I think, hey, if Ray can do it, I can do it. And, that's sort of my mentality because he's someone that really inspires me.
All right. Well, Greg, a huge thank you for staying up a little late for us tonight and hanging out with the classrooms, sharing your adventures. And then do you have some of your medals handy? I think you might have mentioned.
I do. Thank you for asking. Yeah. So next to me, I've got a few of these. So Antarctica, I've got Africa, I've got Australia, I've got Asia, I've got Europe, I've got South America, North America, and then the World Marathon Challenge medallion. And I love getting a medal at the end of this because I think it's such a fun symbol of all the hard work paying off. It's kind of a visual representation of all the sweat and the preparation coming to fruition. And so I proudly put this on my desk at work because it reminds me, hey, hard work pays off.
All right. Awesome. Well, again, Greg, thanks so much for sharing today. That was great. Boys and girls, thank you for hanging out with us today and all your great questions. And yeah, Greg, we look forward to what's coming next. And of course, future events where we get to hang out again.
Absolutely. It's completely my honor, my pleasure. And it's so much fun hanging out with you guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, boys and girls, let's get those microphones turned on. You can get nice and loud. Say goodbye and thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for hanging out today. Enjoy the rest of your week. Greg, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.